YouTube has dropped a new policy and it's going to clear a lot of faceless channels. Well, that is what other creators are saying, but that is far from the truth. Now guys, before we go into this whole YouTube policy update that has dropped, my name is KP, and if this is the first time you are seeing me on the screen, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so that every time I post a new content, you'll be the first to know about it. Now let's get right into it. Yes, YouTube has dropped a new policy that is looking at limiting how faceless channels are being operated and being created, but that has nothing to do with what other creators are talking about. First of all, I want us to look at what exactly YouTube is talking about. I want you to hear from the horse's own mouth, okay? Now YouTube says, with the timeline, July 2025, update to YouTube partner program monetization policies. Now it says, in order to monetize as part of the YouTube partner program, YouTube has always required creators to upload original and authentic content. Original and authentic content in quotes. On July 15, 2025, YouTube is updating our guidelines to better identify mass-produced and repetitious content. This update better reflects what inauthentic content looks like today. Now, this update is far from what the other creators are saying. As you can see, it talks about repetitive and mass-produced content. Now, what do we mean by that? First of all, I want us to take a look at the first thing that YouTube said. It says, YouTube has always required creators to upload original and authentic content. Now, first of all, what I want you to understand is that when it comes to YouTube, it always has to make sure that the content is original. The content is yours. It feels natural. You get me? You have not taken someone else's content. You're trying to brand it as your own. And even if you want to do that, YouTube has always had a policy that you should be able to do commentary, you should be able to do some kind of change to it to make it feel like it is yours. You have to put in the work. You get me? So that is what YouTube is talking about. It has to feel authentic. Now, it's also saying that YouTube is updating our guidelines to better identify mass-produced and repetitious content. Now, to identify mass-produced, when you look within the faceless channel space, you can see that there are a lot of content that are being bombarded, a lot of channels that are being just created and bombarded with a lot of, videos. Now, people are deeming these videos as spam. You get me? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't feel authentic. People just go to AI platforms. You go to, let's say, ChatGPT, you generate a script, you take the script, you send it into an AI voice generator, it generates it for you, then you put it into CapCut. A lot of things that didn't feel authentic with robotic voice and stuff. So YouTube has been seeing these things as spam. You get what I'm trying to say? And people have been complaining about it. And one thing that I want people to understand is that YouTube is a business platform. That's one thing you have to get. It's a business platform and it works with a lot of brands, big brands for that matter. So let's say that Coca-Cola wants to work with YouTube. Now, YouTube gets money as a result of paying its content creators. So let's say Coca-Cola comes and says that I'm paying YouTube $1 million for you to place ads on your workers, because we are obviously working for YouTube. So I want you to place ads on your workers platform for me. And then YouTube divides this money or splits the money and then spreads it across all the content creators. Now imagine, right, if Coca-Cola should come to YouTube and says that I want you to spread this money across. What they want is that they want their brand to go far. They want people to know more about their brand, and then they also expect to have what? Return on investment. So if they are giving YouTube all this money and at the end of the day, right, they place ads on these platforms and these platforms are just bullshitting YouTube just because they want to get money from YouTube. So the bullshit YouTube, they put a lot of trash content out there. When I say trash, you can see some of the content, like there are some Reddit channels of online. You've seen a lot of them where they just dump storylines and all those kind of things, and it's not cool. You get me? So at the end of the day, YouTube is not going to be getting good reviews from Coca-Cola saying that no, I'm not seeing return on investment. You get what I'm trying to say? And that means that Coca-Cola is losing and YouTube is also losing a brand, because if Coca-Cola should pull themselves and say that, you know what, I'm not really seeing return on investment, so I don't want to work with you anymore, it means that YouTube is losing. So YouTube first has to see itself as a business, like I said, and make sure that it protects itself. And to do that from the beginning, right, YouTube has always been for, like I said, original and authentic content, which means that people have to do the content themselves. It feels natural and all that. Now, they only allowed space for people to do faceless channels because a lot of people had issues with, anxiety and, putting themselves out there, but then they were still creative. They wanted to put other things, out there. So they felt like, okay, if that's the case, we'll allow you to be able to put your creativity out there, your idea out there without showing your face, but it should still feel authentic, it should still feel natural. One of the ways is you creating the content using your own voice. You can create the content without using your face, but at least you can use your voice to make it feel natural. You get what I'm trying to say? But people just go for AI voice generators, and then they just dump all the, you know, contents there. Like someone can just upload 10 contents in a day. That's just crazy. You get what I'm trying to say? And it's not fair to the YouTube business. So YouTube is seeing these things as spam, and as a result of that, they are trying to take down content that they feel are mass produced and are repetitive. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, I wanted to look at what platforms are going to be taken down and what platforms are going to be surviving this update. First of all, like I said, YouTube is going to be taking out repetitive contents, like content that they bombard on the platform, like this Reddit channels and all that. They're going to be taking all that down. When you go to YouTube and you type Napoleon Hill, okay, there are platforms that have been channels that have been created with the idea of putting out motivational messages. And what happens is that I went through all these channels and I noticed that some were not being monetized, because what I noticed was that they were using AI voices, which was robotic. The other channels, what they did was that they cloned his voice and then they used it for the voiceover. So it felt more natural. It felt like he was the one that was saying it. You get me? So the people who were watching it felt like they were receiving something beneficial from that content. So those were the channels that I noticed that were monetized. So it means that if you are going to do something like this, you need to put in the work. So, and also using platforms like 11 Labs, which I feel YouTube endorses that platform. Even if you're going to be using an AI voice, you should use something that feels natural, like 11 Labs. You get what I'm trying to say? So YouTube is going to be endorsing more content from that angle because their voices feel more natural. You understand what I'm trying to say? The next one is looking at celebrity channels. Look, before this whole faceless channel came in being, there were people that were doing celebrity channels, the people that were doing commentary channels. YouTube is not going to take it down. It's always going to be there because it has always been YouTube's policy that if you're going to be doing something that has to do with commentary, it's going to be allowed. If you're even going to be using someone's content, and so far as you are within the fair use category, you are safe. You get me? So YouTube is not going to be taking down such content. So if you are planning on creating a faceless channel, don't be scared. You just have to know what niche to go for. You get me? And make sure that it's authentic. Make sure that it feels natural. Don't just take AI platforms and merge things together and dump it on a platform. I think it's a bit disrespectful to even do that. You get me? Put in some work. Make sure that it feels natural to you. And then YouTube will reward you because YouTube is not planning on taking down all faceless channels, because at the end of the day, YouTube has about like 50% of people that are doing faceless channel right now. You get me? So it's not going to be good for them to, if they just kind of remove all the faceless channels from the platform. So I know that's not what they are planning on doing, and they've even stated it. And there was even one person who made mention of this on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And YouTube came and debunked that statement and said that that is not what they are talking about. They are specifically talking about content that felt like was being mass produced and repetitive. You get what I'm trying to say? Like what I spoke about, the Reddit stories and all those things. People just felt like, okay, now people are cashing out of it. Let's also just go and then dump. But that is not it. The person who started the whole niche in the first place put in a lot of effort. You get me? There was a lot of thought that was put into it. So you can't just come and do whatever you want and then expect that, you know, YouTube should be fine with it. So if you are coming, just make sure that you choose niches that make sense, niches that have always stood the test of time. You get me? Like the celebrity channel, the documentary channels and all that. But you do it in a way that feels more natural and feels like you have put a lot of work into it. Now I'm going to be doing a separate video later where I'm going to be talking about these niches and how to go about it in more detail. You get me? What you should do, what AI platforms you should use, what you should avoid. We're going to be talking about all of it. So guys, I'm going to leave this here. That is what the YouTube update is about. This is going to be effective on the 15th of July. There's no need to panic in any way. If you have a faceless channel and you know you are doing the right thing, okay, you don't need to panic. But if you know you're doing the wrong thing, oh well, I'll be shaking right now. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you give this video a like. Share your comments in the comment section. What do you think? Just let me know in the comment section, and then we'll have a discussion about it. See you in the next video.